morning, sir.
Good morning, Aniket.
Good morning, ma'am. Good morning, sir.
How are you?
I'm good, sir. Thank you.
I want to start by congratulating you for clearing the main exam right in the first attempt.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. And so we look forward to the opportunity to further congratulate you for not only clearing the whole exam in the first attempt, but coming out on top somewhere.
Thank you, sir.
So all our best wishes for you.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Then I'm also happy to note that your DAF is very versatile. So I already know that 30-minute time is going to be insufficient for your interview. But let me start with this reference to China on your DAF. Please tell us, what was this youth exchange program which gave you opportunity to visit China?
Sir, it is a program organized by Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports. And the students from IITs, AIMS or NITs, they are taken to China for a 10 to 12-day program. And we visited various aspects like the power industry or the university and also the cultural aspects by interacting with the students there. The aim is to promote, this is kind of a confidence building measure between two countries to promote the culture and peace among the countries.
So you were there for like 12 days, you said?
Yes, sir.
Which all places did you visit?
Sir, we started off with Beijing, then we went to Kunming, and then to Guangzhou in the last phase, and back to Delhi.
Guangzhou, quite far off from Beijing.
Yes, sir. We took flights around the three places.
And going by what you are saying, you didn't get the opportunity to visit the Great Wall?
Sir, we visited a section of it in the Beijing. That was the only, yes.
And how many years ago was this?
Sir, it was 4 years ago, in 2018.
Did you get to meet common Chinese people?
Sir, the students in the university, we met them.
And obviously you spoke in English?
Sir, language was an issue. So we had a translator with us who helped us communicate.
Actually, if it was to 2018, I suppose it was after the Doklam standoff, right?
Yes, sir.
You remember what was Doklam standoff?
Yes, sir. It was in the that small triangle between India, China, Bhutan region in 2017.
Did you get to sense any, so to say, like enmity is a very sharp word, but some kind of gap or suspicious looks towards you?
No, sir, I did not feel anything like this.
Okay.
It was majorly oriented towards the cultural exchange side.
Did you learn some words in Mandarin?
Yes, sir. She and ni hao, which means hello and thank you.
Yeah. And what about the script?
So the script, to be honest, is very complex. It has a lot of letters and words, and it is more of pictographic script. So I could not learn that.
Fine. Where do you see the end to the present ongoing Galwan standoff?
So the end would be through the diplomatic channels that we have been going through. And it should be on the lines that what the situation prevailed before April 20. And this can be possible going ahead through the BRICS summit, which our Prime Minister will be attending. And also the round of Corps of Commanders that have been going on till now.
You must have heard the term salami slicing technique.
Yes, sir.
What do you mean by that?
Sir, it is a technique used by China where they make small incursions with every time, such that they don't matter individually, but as a whole, there is a huge impact on the other country.
Good. Please continue. All my best wishes for you.
Thank you, sir.
Right now, my esteemed colleague Rakesh ji will take over.
How are you now attending? Is this your first mock interview or have you attended earlier also?
Sir, I have attended few mock interviews earlier.
Okay. So what was the advice given to you by that panel members?
Sir, it was a bit on content based. I had to brush few current affair topics. And then it was majorly to continue what I am doing. And then some manners based, like saying good morning, etc.
Okay. So we continue from China only. China and India are two most populous nations of the planet. What is the basic difference between two nations that China is growing faster than us and has outgrown many contemporary countries and now is vying to get place of US in world economy? What is the basic cause of it?
So the basic cause, I would say, is the political setup in the two countries. And coming to the growth rate parts, it is based also on the historical factors, where China progressively modernized its agriculture in 1970s and then moved to manufacturing and services, whereas we lacked in manufacturing, modernizing the agriculture to that extent. And today, and in the 2000s, they took the manufacturing advantage through their communist regime by the labor laws and environmental laws. And now, based on that, those two aspects, agriculture and manufacturing, they are moving towards advanced manufacturing and services.
In IT sector also, you would have noticed that most of the hardware manufacture is done in China. Although in software exports and software programming, India is no less than any other country. In that area, what is the particular thing which you noticed that why we are not able to cope up with the China in hardware manufacturing, IT sector especially?
Sir, in hardware manufacturing, it is very skilled labor that is required. It is a very complex manufacturing process. And our R&D expenditure or the patents and the publications have been behind China. So that is why we are not able to produce that level of skilled labor, but we are doing it going ahead with semiconductor mission and new IITs. If we come to IT sector, we have been able to do good because of the English education that we have, sir, where China lacks. And that is our strength. In addition to hardware, we can combine the strength and go on.
What is cryptocurrency?
Sir, cryptocurrency is an online distributed currency wherein a unit is mined and it is recorded in a public ledger, which is held by the whole community.
What is Uniform Civil Code?
Sir, Uniform Civil Code, as mentioned in Article 44 of our Constitution, is a code which would make the laws regarding personal laws regarding inheritance, marriage, or divorce uniform across all the religions.
Do you think Government of India and other states should go ahead with the implementation of Uniform Civil Code?
Sir, I think they should go ahead with it because there are some regressive laws across various religions and which are specifically biased towards the women. That would go away. However, the care should be taken that while implementing the UCC, the majority religions or customs should not burden over the minority customs and not violate their Article 25 and 26.
Nowadays, we hear a lot about Waqf boards. What are these Waqf boards?
Sorry, sir, I could not get it.
Let me make it clearer. Nowadays, we hear a lot of things about Waqf boards. Waqf boards are supposed to manage the properties. Okay, I have hinted. I think you will get it now.
Yes, sir. Waqf board are related to the Muslim community, and as you rightly said, they manage the properties and also the customs of the community.
How are India's relation with Nepal nowadays?
Sir, the relations are improving since 2019 because recently the Prime Minister also visited our country, and also the neighbors of our country like Nepal or Sri Lanka are trying to diversify from China. So this is a good opportunity for India.
What is the common problem between Nepal, Sri Lanka, and Pakistan?
So the common problem, I would say, is the debt that they have taken from China, where it has become unsustainable now, and all of them are reeling under the economic pressures.
Thank you for your answers. I would request the chairperson to nominate other panelists.
Over to you, Arya Sahab.
Arya Sahab is not audible.
He is connecting to his audio.
So meanwhile, he is connecting to audio. I will request some other panel member to take over.
Yeah, then I request Renu Sahab to take over.
Good morning, Aniket.
Good morning.
Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
You like driving road trips, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Where all have you been?
Ma'am, in the northern part of our country, I have been to Shimla, then on the Udaipur, Mount Abu side in the western part, Sikkim on the eastern part, and then Bangalore, Ooty on the southern part, and then in and around Mumbai.
And any specific place that you would like to go as a dream, or maybe in the bucket list, maybe?
I want to do a Srinagar Kanyakumari road trip once through National Highway 44.
Okay. I thought you would say Khardungla, maybe?
Spiti Valley is one of the trip I plan to go, but this is my dream trip, NH40.
Okay. Tell us about Poshan Abhiyan.
Ma'am, Poshan Abhiyan is meant to increase the nutritional value in the children. And recently, even MDM scheme was merged with the scheme. So now it has become increasing the nutritional value from from 6 months, children of 6 months, to the 8th standard, an integrated scheme.
Your mother is working with the Anganwadi department, right? Your mother is working as a superintendent of midday meal or something like that.
Yes, ma'am. Superintendent of midday meal scheme in Ambarnath Taluka.
Achha, okay. And how is this related with the Poshan Abhiyan?
Ma'am, recently the scheme was renamed as Poshan, and now it entails the midday meal along with extending the scheme to pre-primary students as well. So this is how it is.
Your mother is working with this. Any experiences you would like to share?
Ma'am, the experiences are quite positive. One, she has always held that it has really increased the enrollment of the children, and children also like the food that is served in this scheme. And it is also a very satisfactory job for my mother. So I would say it's a win-win situation for both government and the children.
Okay. You are a IIT postgraduate.
Ma'am, both undergraduation and post-graduation I have done from IIT.
Yeah. But then why leaving all that and joining civil services?
Ma'am, since both of my parents are state government officers, I already had some inclination towards the services. And then through IIT's alumni network, I could connect with Kanish Kataria sir, Shreyans Kumar sir, and Amrish Kumar sir. And I felt that through civil services, I can work for the public at a much broader level than even my parents. And considering government recent push towards data-driven governance or digital technologies or even energy targets, I felt that my knowledge of engineering would also be used directly or indirectly in the services. So I took this informed decision of joining services.
Who is your idol then?
It would be my father.
Why?
It is his enthusiasm to do the right thing and always work for the public that has really excited me to join these services. So I really look up to it.
And why not your mother?
And my mother is also my ideal. But I have heard more stories about my father, so maybe I'm inclined slightly towards him.
What is this Mood Indigo College Cultural Festival? Why that name?
Ma'am, it is a college cultural festival, and the name is because mood, when you enter the festival, your mood becomes indigo, which is a combination of red, signifying passion, and blue, which signifies calm and composure. So that is the name.
So you become combination of all these, is it?
Yes, ma'am.
And what do other colors signify? Like maybe green?
And green signifies prosperity.
Okay.
Then white signifies peace. And orange also is on the lines of red, I would say, which signifies passion and vigor. And blue signifies calm and composure.
Okay. Thank you, Aniket.
Okay.
Good morning, Aniket. How are you?
Good morning, sir. I'm good.
All well?
Yes, sir. All.
I mean, as the chairman said, there is so much on your desk. I don't even know where to begin with, really. But let's begin again with China. You know, when you were responding to the chairman, you said that because we have studied in English, there is a language advantage which we have. If we have a language advantage by virtue of studying English, is it a good idea for the new, the new education policy to have the first standards 1 to 6 in the mother tongue? Should not it be in English and therefore reinforce English and therefore capitalize on that advantage?
Sir, I think it is a good idea to have mother tongue as a first language. The reason being, while studying English, we are also losing on our own Indian languages. Many of the dialects have been lost, and we need to preserve that rich culture of India. However, in addition to that, we can also have English as the second or third language, which will make us competitive in the global world as well.
Okay, very good. Now, when you were in China and as a future administrator, did you also have a look at what the model of government China follows? And how does it compare with the system we have in India?
Sorry, sir, I could not go into so much detail of government. I just saw the general observations which were present around.
But as a matter of general knowledge, you call China a communist country, whereas we are a democratic country. So what would be the essential differences between the two systems?
Sir, the essential difference would be in China, everything is state-owned. Whereas in India, there is a mix of both, some public sector intervention as well as private sector interventions. And that leads to state having much more control in every aspect of citizens' life in China, whereas some market forces work in India.
Well, okay. Market forces also work in China now.
Yes, sir, but they are, I would say, more state controlled.
Okay, now you've got mobile photography on your desk.
Yes, sir.
You know, there is this eternal question of whether digital photography with a digital camera is better or with a mobile camera is better. What is the technology difference between the two? And which would you recommend to a novice like me as to how to go about photography when you're starting off?
Sir, with the advancements in the mobile cameras, they have become almost equal, but still I would say the digital cameras, the DSLRs, are better in capturing photos because one, they have wide range of adjustment of exposure or aperture speed. Two, they have optical zoom. Basically, the lenses can move and have much better zoom. However, if you were to start the photography, I would suggest you can start with mobile as well, and a mobile which has wide range of adjustments like the Google Pixel or iPhone, and then maybe you can move to DSLRs for a much
But the
larger.
usual complaint is that the zooming in camera ends up with blurred pictures.
Yes.
And also in low light, the mobile camera is not effective. So aren't we losing out with the mobile camera? Aren't your the potentials limited really?
Yes, sir, I would agree with the zoom part, because the zoom is optical zoom or digital zoom in digital zoom in the mobile cameras, whereas in the DSLR it is optical zoom. But in the night photography, sir, I would say mobile cameras are catching up with the DSLRs with the wide range of ISO, exposure, and shutter speed settings that they have these days.
Now this Hyperloop, this is really exciting. And you think this is the means of transport of the future?
Sir, it can be, but there has to be some work done on it, because currently, as per my analysis, it was almost 3 times more energy intensive than the bullet train, the Mumbai-Ahmedabad bullet train. So we need to make it more efficient by increasing the speeds, which are currently limited at 500 km/h on the operational scale.
But how does this whole process of magnetic propulsion work?
So the way Hyperloop works is that it works on the principle known as electromagnetic induction. And the technology is induct track, where there are permanent magnets placed all along the track. And then there is a varying magnetic field on the Hyperloop powered by the batteries. So this electromagnetic induction created between the tracks and the pod propels the Hyperloop forward and also helps it to stay afloat.
What about a term called vac train? Where does the vacuum aspect come into this?
So these pods would travel through a tube which would be partially evacuated at 100 Pascal. So that is where the vacuum come into play. It reduces the aerodynamic drag on the pod and increases its efficiency.
Is it more revolutionary than the electric vehicle which Elon Musk is bringing out?
Sir, I would say it has been tried in the past with the vac train, as you mentioned. Basically, it is combining the aspects of vac train and maglev in one single form. So it is more evolutionary rather than revolutionary.
Okay. Last question. Since you mentioned to ma'am about the mood indigo, why did a cultural event of a college, why does it need a marketing head?
So the festival is on a large scale. We have a footfall of around 1.5 lakh people. So to arrange these events, we need sponsorships and the budget, for which there is a marketing head whose primary job is to get the sponsors and the money required for the festival.
Thank you, Aniket. Wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Over to Arya, sir.
Hello, Aniket.
Good morning, sir.
Morning. How are you today?
I'm good, sir. Thank you.
Good. Now, I noticed from your DAF, you love long road trips.
Yes, sir.
What is the longest road trip you have undertaken?
Sir, the longest was around from Mumbai to Ganpatipure and back to Mumbai. It was around 1,100 kilometers in 3 days.
Well, that's a good long road trip. Now, tell me, what would you understand by the following? Traffic conditions, road sense, road rule, and road enforcement.
So traffic conditions are the prevailing conditions. It may be traffic jam or smooth traffic. Then road sense is how much the public understands following the general rules, like maybe giving an indicator while changing the lanes or stopping before the zebra crossing. So the third aspect was road rules, as you said, right? Road rules are the rules laid by the government. They can be as simple as stopping at the signal or even wearing helmet. And the last one was traffic enforcement, where the police, the traffic police or the RTO enforces these road rules on the public.
Good. Now you must be keeping up with the ongoings all around you at present, particularly because of the interview. How would you compare the economic problems in Nepal and in Sri Lanka? Do you think Nepal is going down Sri Lanka way?
Sir, to the limited extent of my knowledge, the differences lie is that Nepal's economy is going down because of the political instability in the country, while in Sri Lanka it was due to the debt and major dependence on the tourism and then the ill-timed organic farming policy. But I'm not sure of the Nepal's declines.
Okay, read up on that, because we have a stronger relationship with Nepal, including Nepalese in the Indian Army.
Yes.
What can you tell us about Prime Minister Modi's Nordic approach, Nordic outreach?
Sir, I think it is a step in the right direction, because the Nordic countries are pioneers in the green energy, where we are moving towards. Good human development index, where we need to go, and also in the more sustainable development models. So I think we have a lot to learn from them, and they can also have a huge market in India by investing in our Swachh Bharat mission or Clean Ganga mission.
Okay, now totally different field. You've seen a globe?
Yes, sir.
Which two lines divide it equally? Two lines which are used to divide it.
Sir, I would say it's the equator
Okay.
and the 0 degree line, the
what do you call it?
Greenwich meridian.
The prime meridian.
Fine. Yes.
Prime. Right, fine. So you know how they go. One goes horizontally, one goes vertically. Can you name a continent which would be there in any of these divisions? Whichever way, whichever one you like, which continent would appear? A part of it would definitely appear.
Sir, if I am understanding it right, the continent which falls on both equator and prime meridian.
Whichever way you, suppose you cut it with both, make it 4 quarters. Even then, I mean, that will appear. That continent, part of it will always be there. Either halves, whether you make it this way or that way, that continent will definitely be there. Can you think about it?
Sir, I think it will be Europe.
Europe is in the northern hemisphere. So if you divide by equator, it's above the equator. Where is Europe below the equator?
Yes, sir. I'll have to think about it.
No, it just requires a little bit of visualizing the map. Anyway, Africa, just for information.
Thank you, sir.
You would definitely be well versed in physics, since that has been your. I'll just ask you one question on that one. What is Stefan's law, Kepler's law, and Tyndall effect?
Sir, Stefan's law deals with the black body radiation, which states that the energy radiated by a black body is directly proportional to the 4th power of the temperature. The Kepler's law deals with the motion of the planets, which states that the time period around a particular focus, which, for example, sun for the Earth, it is proportional to a raised to 3/2, where a is the length of semi-major axis of the revolution. And the Tyndall effect deals with the scattering of the light in the colloids.
Okay, good. You were just talking last bit. You were talking with the previous panel member about Hyperloop. we are talking of these high speeds at which people will be transported. Will the G effect not become an issue?
Sir,
I mean, pressures will be more than 2G, 3G, whatever.
Sir, the care is being taken for that. For example, Hyperloop's acceleration is only 75% of what it would be for aeroplane. So initially there would be some time taken to reach those speeds. But once those speeds are reached, they would be sustained because of low pressure. And that is the advantage we are getting in.
Okay, so no 2G, 3G, 5G effect like a pilot suffers when he planes.
No, sir.
Good. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
You have done a job, right, for 2 years.
Yes, sir, for 1.5 years.
Tell us briefly about that job.
Sir, I was an associate consultant in Bain & Company. It is a management consulting firm. And my role was to gather the data sources, analyze the data, and present it to my case team or the clients, and also to conduct research via primary and secondary sources. The major job such management consulting firm does is that it solves the problems of clients at management level. For example, reducing the profit or expansion in their businesses. So this was briefly about my job.
Where was your office in Mumbai?
Sir, it was based in Mumbai, in BKC.
The state-of-art area in Mumbai, huh?
Yes, sir, it is a very good commercial area.
Would you say Maharashtra social life in general and Mumbai social life in particular is right now in trouble and turmoil?
Sir, I would say we need to improve it for sure. And there are two aspects to it. If we go to the interior part of Maharashtra, it starts from right education, health, etc. But those aspects are better in Mumbai. But Mumbai suffers from quality of life in the sense from pollution or traffic congestion and the time that people have to spend in the traveling. So there are aspects where we need to improve the social life of people in Mumbai and Maharashtra as well.
And Azan issue adds fuel to fire?
Sir, to some extent it would, but I think Mumbai spirit is strong enough to overcome.
You are so optimistic about it.
Yes, sir, because as I have seen in Mumbai, there are very few such issues which usually come up. And even in the grave situations like terrorist attack, Mumbai has been very strong. So I am pretty sure it would come out on top.
Are you aware that the worst riots in a generation happened in Mumbai?
Yes, sir. It was there some years in 1993. But after that, sir, I think Mumbai has been going strong, and even police have been taking various preventive measures, like signing peace bond and coordinating with the local management committees. So I think we would be able to deal with the situation.
What is your opinion about Azan issue?
Sir, my opinion is that there are already the sound noise pollution rules in place. They should be adhered to by any party, and even practicing Article 25, that is practicing your own religion, has restrictions based on fundamental rights of others, which you cannot transgress. So there should be some restrictions on the noise level, but there shouldn't be any blanket restriction on playing Azan.
What is unified field theory?
Sir, I'm not exactly sure of it.
No, there is a but in your tone. You want to say, I'm not sure about it, but.
Sir, I'm not sure if the unified field theory is the same as the theory of everything or the grand unification theory. Is that
There are a couple of candidates for TOE or GUT. One such candidate is unified field theory.
okay, sir? I will read more about it.
Okay, thank you. All the best.
Thank you, sir.
The feedback is all happy,
Thank you, sir.
except only for the last question indeed.
Yes.
Actually, in the light of excellence of your interview, and also in light of the fact that you are masters from IIT, and you picked up physics as optional subject for UPSC, even I personally thought question on unified field theory would be a very simple question for you. For you.
Yes, sir.
Just
I
a
wasn't
little-
sure of it.
So what was it you were not sure about?
Sir, I know that grand unification theory basically attempts to unify the strong, weak, and the nuclear force together. And then there are these symmetries, like the SU2 symmetry for weak and electromagnetic force. But I am not sure how does this unified field theory fits into all of this.
So first of all, from interview technique point of view, I would actually suggest you to give this as an answer in the interview, what you just said.
Yes, sir. Okay.
That is better than either keeping quiet or saying, I'm not sure.
Okay, sir.
Because you are at least making the panel aware that you know some broad contours. Now, the quantum theory and the relativity theory, both absolutely scientific, arrive at mutually contradictory conclusions. So the attempts to reconcile quantum theory with relativity, that is one of the directions of search for GUT or TOE. And Einstein himself proposed the unified field theory.
Yes, I read about this.
Yeah, which seeks to do away with this seeming contradiction between quantum mechanics and relativity.
Yes.
Because of a sad time limit, that is how I would choose to summarize right now. But like I said, except for that, you are absolutely up to it all the way. Then just a couple of suggestions, not because there is something lagging, but suggestion in the light of the fact that your interview is scheduled for 13th of May.
Yes, sir.
So 13th is the third day of what is known as Pokhran 2.
Yes, sir.
The year was 1998, and we conducted first 3 nuclear tests on May 11th, and then 2 super thermal tests on May 13th. So kind of keep yourself ready for that.
Yes.
And this discussion can head in any direction, the science part of it. So uranium and 238, 235 isotope, etc. Or the political part of it. So the sanctions against India, India's nuclear doctrine, and eventual Indo-US civil nuclear deal, etc. Right up to the present, including the Jaitapur project in Maharashtra. So like every candidate is expected to be well conversant about one's own state, some questions will come up. It is only to indicate that I picked up 1 or 2 questions regarding Mumbai or Maharashtra.
Yes.
I'm sure you are aware that Mumbai itself is a huge issue for which even 30 minutes of the full interview would be income. So the current scene overall, Mumbai, Maharashtra, overall current scene, that is one thing. Then possible questions on IIT background also, including, for example, I myself had this question in my mind. If we had time, that is, please explain to us what is energy science and energy engineering. And then the questions would follow. We are reasonably certain that you would respond to these questions quite competently. But there might be an attempt to connect that issue with India's energy issues, including the current situation of coal shortage or possible load shedding or shutdowns, etc. And renewables or whatever, all those things. And also, again, not because there is anything wanting or less today, but only to kind of sound a note of caution, that is Maharashtra issues, various complex Maharashtra issues also. We just touched upon one or two of them. The panel may choose to go there, right? But basically, we are very happy, I again repeat. So today, yours is the first interview online. I am happy to say that our day is off to a very happy start.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. And to the best of our judgment, your score will be 193 or even beyond. But then, Aniket, if it is 193 today, all of us expect you to reach 215 on 13th of May.
Yes, sir.
It's kind of brushing up and also staying absolutely updated as of 13th of May. So all current issues of state, national and international level. And so much is likely to happen, of course, in the meanwhile. So we look forward to your getting 215. 215 is interview topper.
Yes, sir.
Yeah?
Yes, sir.
So all the very, very best.
Thank you, sir.
And China, why did I forget that? Actually, we did spend sufficient time, kind of sufficient time. But like with us, this can also happen with the UPSC panel, that they may notice that reference to China. So try and use these days to sort of brush up on various issues regarding China. And especially the India-China issues. Okay? Like even today's newspapers carry a news item of a senior spokesperson of Central Tibetan Administration, that is known as CTA, on his visit to USA, okay, talk about the issue of Dalai Lama's succession. And he says India will matter. And America has actually already passed a law regarding that. And that American law rejects any Chinese intervention in the succession question. So just like, that's what I mean when I'm just alerting you to ensuring that you keep yourself utterly updated as of 13th of May.
Yes, sir.
Right? Would other panel members want to add anything?
Just one thing, Aniket. You also brush up about the current year's Nobel Prize winners and their theories on which Nobel Prize were awarded recently. Okay. And work of some great Indian physicists also. Since physics is there, you should be ready for that also. I hope that you are already ready. It appears to be, but still, since you have time with you, you can brush up those also. This is the only advice. Other than that, you are excellent. As chairperson has already told, carry on that. Keep it up. All the best.
All the very best, Aniket.
Thank you, sir.
And after the interview, do let us know how your interview went off on 13th.
Yes, sir. Definitely.
Sure.
Sir, just one question I had regarding the Azan question. So, how do you handle such tricky questions?
Okay. two very simple points. One, the most important one is your honest opinion. That is the most important guideline. Your honest opinion, as long as the opinion you express indicates that you have studied the issue, that you have seen the issue from different sides, and then formed your opinion after careful consideration. That is one guideline. And the second one, of course, is let all such answers be within the framework of the Constitution. Okay. So like in case of Azan, there is a ruling given by Supreme Court already. So if you want to, if you agree, you can stick to the line that the Honorable Supreme Court's directions and guidelines need to be adhered to.
Yes.
This and many such controversial issues are bound to come up.
Yes.
So I hope these two principles help you.
Yes, sir. I will try to frame my answer beforehand on this principle so that it becomes easy.
Yeah.
Yes. Sir, and to go from 193 to 215, apart from content, is there anything I need to work on?
No. Staying update as of 13th.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely and utterly update as of 13th.
Yes, sir.
That's all. Otherwise, you are already there.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Okay. That was all from my side, sir. Yes.
Yeah. Bless you, Aniket.
All the best.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am.